And welcome back to Jeff Koinange Live here at Citizen Television. What a great conversation we're having here with first-time MPs. Mohammed Ado worked for 15 years for Al Jazeera, much celebrated journalist, covered the entire world. And he decided, you know what? It's time to celebrate with my people, make a difference with my people. He's the MP for Wajir South. Captain Ronald Karauri worked for 11 years for KQ, imagine that, and then became a very successful businessman and decided, you know what? I'm going to go into politics. And he ran as an independent. He's the MP for Kasarani. How about that? The future is here, folks. Lucky number 13, as in the 13th Parliament. By the way, do you miss journalism? Do you miss reporting? Do you miss being in the field?
Well, I don't get the chance to miss it. Because I'm busy throughout.
Yes.
So, journalism has been lifeblood for me for a very long time, 25 years actually. 9 years with the BBC. A year before I joined the BBC, I was with Nation newspapers. It wasn't Nation Media Group then. And then 15 years with Al Jazeera, so 25 years.
Wow.
25 years, yeah.
Wow. And look, a moment ago you were saying, not a single tarmac road where you are. I mean, that just boggles my mind that 60 years, almost 60 years after independence, we don't have tarmac.
That's much of the Northeast, for your information, Jeff.
And what happened to devolution, Mohammed? What happened to the success that was devolution?
I think we're still having teething problems when it comes to devolution in the northern part of Kenya, particularly the Northeast. You know, the first governments in Kenya was marginalization, you know, because of that, ambition the people of that part of the country had in the early years after independence to secede, you know, and join Somalia and all that. So there was that policy of marginalization where there was very little development in that part of the country because the governments felt, you know, these people are not even loyal. They want to join Somalia. Then the shift to war and all the effects of it that lingered on mostly through the Kenyatta and Moi governments. Kibaki was a very good president for the Northeast, I must say. He did a lot for the region. The most tarmac we have right now in the entire region was built during the time of Kibaki mostly. And then devolution came in 2010. We have a lingering problem coming from all those areas. Now we have self-marginalization to a certain extent, I must say, because those who were given the mantle of leadership of the region, you know, to a certain extent, I'm not talking about all of them, I'm taking some of them, have chosen to take the money home, pocketed themselves. I'll be very blunt. Corruption is the problem facing, you know, the proper application of devolution to its to the letter in northeastern Kenya. I must say the people who start, and that's one of the reasons why you see the two first governors for Garissa and Wajir getting re-elected, because it's not lost on the people that they did some work, which, you know, the people who took from them after their 5-year stint, each of them, did not do as much as they did. So they've now re-elected Governor Nadif in Garissa and Governor Ahmed Abdullah Hajir in Wajir. And hopefully they would, you know, having been watching it from, you know, out there after they lost their seats, it will not be lost on them that what the people want is proper use of devolution funds and development, proper development for the, maybe we should have taken advantage with all the money that's going in. We should have had tarmac, for example, in Wajir South. I mean, nothing so far, but hopefully soon, hopefully.
Hopefully soon. Yeah. Captain, you were talking about CDF fund, right?
Yes.
Is it still there, or does it have a different name now?
It's still there because I think the act that was declared null and void was the CDF Act of 2013.
Right.
We still have the NGCDF of 2015, but it might be still at risk in terms of what the court declared as unconstitutional. But I'm sure that can be cured in due course, because I believe the CDF has helped a lot of people. In fact, most of the questions I'm getting right now are all CDF-based things. Most of the development you see in the constituency.
People love CDF.
Yeah, it's all about CDF. So it would be very sad if CDF was taken away, because I know as MPs we are legislators, which is perfectly well and good, because through legislation we can make a lot of change and a lot of difference. But at the same time, the CDF really reaches the mwananchi from where we sit. And I've seen it happening. Remember, we're not career politicians. And it's good that Mheshimiwa Adao is also not a career politician. Yeah. And for me, it's very refreshing when we have people who are out of politics coming in, because I think it's genuine. These are people who actually want to make a difference. There's a lot of politics that plays out. There's a lot of times that people who are genuine in their intentions of development get locked out because they are not good politicians. So I think for us, we have a chance to prove to people that even though you're not a career politician, if you want to make a difference, you can come in and make that difference. So I think the CDF helps a lot of people. I get calls for bursaries. In fact, right now there are some children I'm supporting through school. I even promised them if they do very well, they'll go fly planes, inshallah, in the future.
Nice.
So,
inshallah.
But it's a problem. It is a big problem.
Look, I was trying to do the math here, right?
Yes.
You said about 130 registered
155,000.
Registered voters.
Yes.
Which means a population of Kasarani could be what, two times that, 3 times that?
Maybe 3 times.
So let's say close to 500,000?
Correct.
And you're 30 schools?
Correct. And Rai Ward is 100 square kilometers in the middle of Nairobi. So you have, when it rains, kids have to start crossing, those paddles. Yeah. Sometimes they can't even go to school. And we're in Nairobi, I don't think it gets talked about enough, but something must be done. So I have a very heavy load on my shoulders, but it's the reason I asked for the job. And I think it's something I can do, of course, with the support of the national government, the CSs we got sworn in today. We have to step it up to ensure, because at the end of the day, these are basic rights of our people. Article 43 of our Constitution talks about right to health, right to food, right to education, but we have a lot of children who cannot go to school due to lack of school fees. We talk about free education, but somehow there are some charges that are always levied in these public schools that you have now families struggling even to get food. And now even going to school becomes it's a luxury. So it's something we have to cure. I think we have enough time. And as I said, I have hope that we're heading in the right direction. So hopefully we'll get all that cured in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mohamed Ado, somebody wants to say hello to you. Mutegi Njau. Remember him?
Editor, yes.
Yes, he says you were his reporter.
Yes.
He says, congratulations to you.
Remind him, he used to call me Turkana.
Turkana.
Turkana. That's his tickle. Great editor, great journalist. Fantastic.
Oh, well done. Good memories. Good memory. Okay, guys, you have what? You have 5 years, right?
Yes.
Is it enough to make a change? Is it enough to make a difference? Let's start with you, Mohamed. I mean, look, the way you've described Wajir South, it's like the back of beyond.
Yeah.
Is 5 years enough to make a difference?
Yeah. 5 years is enough to at least chop a bit of that log that is the problem Wajir South has. But it's not enough to make a dent, I must say, of the problems afflicting my people. And it's not just healthcare is a problem. Teachers, we have teachers. I need up to 300 teachers in my constituency today. Most of the schools in my constituency are manned by either 1 and at most 2 teachers. Because 2 years ago, the Teacher Service Commission, with a stroke of a pen, withdrew 5,000 teachers from northeastern Kenya.
Why?
Insecurity. And this at a time when those working for the Ministry of Water, those working for every other department of government, even the stonemasons and everybody else are there. They said, teachers are being targeted, let's take them back. Or other communities from other parts of Kenya are being targeted. That was the pretext they used, which I believe was really unfair to the children of the entire northeastern region, because we are bringing up a lost generation. kids who for the past 2 years have gone through the steps of schooling but learned nothing. Many schools have been forced to close. We've spoken and talked and shouted from the rooftops, but no one so far is listening to us. So last week, during the Madaraka Day celebrations, I announced a bursary fund, scholarships for teachers. Any student from my constituency willing to train as a teacher, I'll pay with the CDF funds for Wajir South constituency and train them, because at least we have to bring our own contribution to the table, and I believe this is the contribution of Wajir South. And hopefully, I hope, because we're living on hopes right now, and we've lived on hope since 1963, I hope someone, somewhere, realizes that what is happening in the Northeast is one of the biggest unfairness a government could wage on its own people, and bring back the teachers, hopefully.
You need 300 teachers right away,
Yes.
minimum.
Yes.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a different country, yeah?
It's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy.
It's
yeah.
like, you guys, we probably think, oh...
You're on your own, yeah.
Yeah.
So sort of.
Yeah, it's sad.
It's so sad.
It's really
Yeah.
sad, yeah.
But,
And,
but like you said, there is hope, huh?
there's hope. There's hope.
There's hope.
And 5 years is not. It's
not
really
enough.
not enough.
Yeah.
But I think 5 years is enough to spark a change. You know,
Yeah.
because as I said, we've been living in a different culture. You know, there's this culture of impunity that
Yeah.
we've had from the past.
Survival
You
for
know,
the fittest.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, there's a shift that needs to be done. I think right now that shift is happening in terms of moving forward, how people will look at even politics and even politicians and what they expect from the politicians. So 5 years might not be enough to make proper change, but it's enough to spark that,
Absolutely.
you know, spark some change. So that if we prioritize and say we want to achieve a certain amount of development in the next 5 years, and then we leave it on to the next politician. Because I think the biggest problem we have in politics is that, for me, when I'm in Kasarani, when I'm about to leave the seat, I want to stop anything that I don't want anybody else to show that they've done any development in the same place. So, for example, this is from experience. The previous politician, Kasarani, for example, builds a school. Then when I come in, I decide, since this school was built by the previous guy, I'm not going to continue development of that school.
Right.
Oh.
And that needs to stop, because it's impossible to accomplish everything in 5 years. So, like, for me, I also have a problem with teachers, even here in Nairobi. We need to add more teachers. We opened some schools, we didn't have teachers. So we're trying to sort out that problem. Hopefully we'll do it soon. But then even the existing schools that are there, I cannot ignore them. I need to expand them. I cannot say that this school was done by my predecessor, and therefore I will not do anything there. I have to open my own school so that I show people I've done. I'm not going to do any of that, because we have to be willing to hand over to the next person. That's the only way we can have a 30-year plan, for example. We had Vision 2030, and that Vision 2030, the presidential term limit is 10 years. So it's impossible for one president, for example, to fulfill that vision. But it has to be a collective thing. I hand over to you, you continue with the vision, because the vision has a plan, and to achieve that, it has to be everybody takes a mantle, I hand over to you, and you proceed. Because if we don't do that, everyone will have their own projects. I do my projects. When I hand over, the other person does their own projects.
And they ignore yours.
They ignore mine. They say, these guys voted for me, these guys did not. I ignore this area, for example, as we say, Northeastern has been ignored.
Yeah.
Then we'll never progress. So the politics in Kenya needs to change. And that's why I'm very hopeful. It's refreshing that we have a new breed of people coming into politics. And I hope it inspires even more people who never thought they would be in politics, a lot of armchair politicians, to come into politics and still make a difference. Because they're out there. A lot of people have, they have a lot of potential in running the country. But politics has always been somewhere where it's a enclosed space, you know, reserved space for certain people.
Yes.
And everybody else is blocked out. So I hope, you know, we inspire those people to come in as well.
Yeah, you guys have shattered that whole stereotype. You guys have, you destroyed that. It's not that traditional politician anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyone can run and win and make a difference.
Correct.
Right?
Yes. And that's how it should be.
And hopefully you guys can do that, though, Mohammed. Hopefully, yeah.
We hope so, yes, and we aspire to do just that. Mheshimiwa Karauri had very eloquently said how all these partisan politics and all these ethnicity and all these divisions within us are what is breeding some of this lacklusterness and backwardness that we're seeing in some of our corners, different corners of Kenya. And it's time we moved on together as a nation. And one of the things that really strikes me, and usually from my travels around Kenya as well as a journalist, is we don't know each other, Jeff. Kenyans don't know each other. The only thing we know each other is the stereotypes.
Yeah.
Oh, Luos love fish. Kikuyus love money. Luyas, love ugali. This is the stuff we know of each other.
Yeah.
We do not have deep-seated knowledge of the 44 tribes also that make up this country called Kenya. And we cannot have a nation that is united in the real sense if we do not know each other. So we need to invest in Kenyans knowing Kenya and the people who live in it, their cultures, their proverbs, their sayings, what makes them tick, what they're good at, rather than just clinging on these stereotypes, which we so love to, brandish around.
Yeah.
We really need to have proper Kenyan cohesion so that we move together as a country, so that when there's a landslide in Muranga, it affects the person in Mandera. When there's drought in Mandera, we don't see it as a, pastoralist problem, but rather a Kenyan problem, which all of us Kenyans need to face together, united.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very good point. Very good point. I think we need to have that conversation at some point, huh?
Definitely.
To know each other.
Correct.
It'll happen, guys. It'll happen. Let's go to the magic wall. Let's see what's happening. Lots of feedback, man. Lots of feedback. Guys are loving this conversation. I'm telling you. Oh, man. Tweets are coming in thick and fast. Abdullahi Leo says, congratulations on your victory. Mohammed Ado, my message to you is to please lobby for long-term resilience initiatives to the perennial drought while ensuring short-term response. You are indeed a hope for 2 generations. Oh, deep, deep. Chester Nyantika says, it's inspiring to see young professionals from various disciplines joining politics, but my question is, what footprints or legacy will they leave behind upon their exit from politics? Agents of positive change or sycophants? Captain?
I don't think it's in our DNA to be sycophants. We are not. Politics is new to us. I don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't see it heading in that direction at all. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
And plus, you ran as an independent, so...
Exactly.
Good point. Musir Leto says, finally, we have an MP who can represent Kasarani and speak without fear. We feel represented and Kasarani is happy. Deliver for us, especially sportsmen and women, by providing sponsorship to our teams. You said it lacks a lot of facilities, and you're going to work on that.
Correct. At least sports is my speciality.
Yes.
That is not something new to me. And I know, because we talk about creating jobs. In fact, the problem in Kenya is that even when when we're watching news with Weshimiwa over here, then we were saying most Kenyans always say serikali isaidie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the perception has always been it's only government that should be able to sort out all the problems.
Correct.
But if we are able to uplift sports and also support business, because remember, the government cannot employ everybody.
Yeah.
If we are able to support business and in our position now provide proper legislation that definitely supports businessmen and women, even the mamambogas, that means that now they'll be able to employ themselves and we can uplift everybody. So this is something I can definitely deliver in terms of sports. I'll make sure Kasarani becomes a hub. Not only the stadium that can be seen outside, but even the teams that are part of Kasarani constituency.
Absolutely. Good point. Next tweet. Lots of tweets. So much response, guys. Great response. Nancy K. Karimi says, I am a resident of Kasarani maternity area. Honorable Karauri, drainage in our area is so poor and the roads get so muddy when it rains. Please put that into consideration. I think you mentioned that.
Correct.
In Ruai area when it rains.
Area, and of course, drainage is a big problem in now lower Kasarani. We're talking about Kasarani wards, Mwiki wards, and Clay City as well. So, of course, I'm going to partner. I was with Sakaja the other day. We have a lot of issues in Kasarani.
Yeah.
Some of them I cannot do myself because of the devolution, but definitely I'll be visiting Sakaja a lot. I hope he's watching so that he can assist me to make some of the changes we need in Kasarani.
He's a good guy. He listens.
He's a good man.
He listens. Isn't he?
Yes, yes.
Very good. Governor, you listening? D. Hammer says, pass my congratulatory message to my MP, Captain Ronald Karauri. My first question is about Njiru and the issue of land ownership. My second question, what plans does my MP have for unemployed youth?
So, Njiru, we had a very sad, I don't know if you covered it in the news on Sunday because some people lost their lives and, I pass my condolences to the families that were involved. And what I would like to encourage my people in Kasarani, especially the Njiru area, is to calm down. Please don't invade any land at this time because what I'm doing is investigating so that we can get to the root of the problem. A very unfortunate incident happened because some people were evicted from that particular piece of land, I think 2 years ago, and it was during COVID. It was very inhumanely done at the time, but if it comes to settling those people, whether it's on that piece of land or finding another piece of land where we can settle them, it's something we're going to do. I'm discussing with the Ministry of Land and the County of Nairobi. Again, Sakaja, it's one of the issues I have to deal with him together. So I want to tell the people of Njiru especially to just stay calm. It's something that we need to sort out, but we need to find a lasting solution, not something temporary that will bring issues for now. Right. So I'd like to ask them to calm down. It's definitely something we'll sort out. Again, for the unemployment, it's what I just said. We need to encourage small businesses, sports, and also to create an environment where these youths are trained. The president is coming up with the housing project. And remember, what he has insisted on is the works that will be done by the people of that area. So what I would like to encourage the youths, we have a TVET institution in Ruai Ward in Kamulu. For those that can be able to afford, we can be able to get the training there so that we can be the ones who build everything that goes into the housing projects that are upcoming. Because I know I'll invite the president into Kasarani very soon so that we can also benefit from the housing project. So for the youth, that's what I'm going to do and ensure that we eliminate the problem of unemployed youths because it's also bringing a lot of insecurity in the area and a lot of youth are really losing hope in this life because there's this, you turn 18, you finish your studies, then it's impossible to get a job. There was that sad story I saw online. Someone had first-class honors, straight A's in electrical and electronic engineering. Wow. First-class honors. He's saying now, I've given up. I can't get a job. Well, I think it's too early for him to give up. He needs to grind a bit longer. Yeah. But there's a lot of loss of hope because you can imagine people who now they don't even make it to school because their parents did not afford fees. Right. And employment is not only for people who have degrees. It should be for everybody, even people who never went to school. So it's something we'll look at, and it's a long-term solution. Yeah. Yes.
Same thing in Wajir, unemployment or youths?
Oh, you bet. Yeah. Massive unemployment. People with degrees, just sitting in their, villages with their parents. Yeah. No opportunities whatsoever, or very little opportunities. Those with diploma as well, those who dropped out of school, secondary school, because of lack of school fees. And one of the ideas I'm toying with at the moment is, because of this massive impact, climate change is having on the people, and also the dwindling of the herds that they've been, taking care of before, but now, most of them are settling in urban centers as urban poor. The only way we can create employment for these youths, and most of them, I must say, is agriculture, something that's very new to that part of our country. So we have the land, we don't have water. So the minister, the CS for water and irrigation, somebody I will be really frequenting our office, just asking for boreholes and dams, mega dams, to try and irrigate farms as a way of also creating opportunities for these youth, some of them have been without jobs for sometimes 10, 11, 12 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Alice Wahome? Is she the one who's
Yes.
Yes.
water irrigation, yeah?
Yes.
All right. I hope she's watching.
Yes.
Khalid says to my area MP, Mohammed Ado, what are your plans for Wajir South, which is about 21,645 square kilometers, hence larger than, we just mentioned that, Central, Nairobi, Western regions combined, and has just one member of parliament and a mere 7 wards representative. Looks like he was reading your mind. He just mentioned that. That's a huge area, though. Huh?
Huge.
It's a huge
It's
area.
massive.
What?
And it's not also represented very well at the county level
Yeah.
as well, with only 7 wards.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So the people of Wajir South have borne the brunt of neglect for quite a long time. And hopefully, this time round, we should get, not just the constituency divided, but also more wards.
Yeah.
Actually, my people believe that they should get at least 2. But again, there's a cap on the number of constituencies by the Constitution. So this is going to be a boundary review, but hopefully, and I'm not going to stop talking about it or agitating for the need to divide Wajir South, because 300,000 people living in such a huge chunk of land, and again, with very little infrastructure, if at all, cannot be represented by just one member of parliament.
No.
It's untenable.
Absolutely, completely untenable. 100% right. Madoka M. Kibet says young leaders have the power to help a country develop and move towards progress. They also have a responsibility of bringing social reforms within a country. The youth of a country determine the future of a nation. It's for these reasons that I believe in Mohammed Ado and Captain's leadership. Wow. Nice. Thank you, Madoka. Well said. Well said. Ahmed Najib Ahmed says, please ask our renowned former journalist, Mohammed Ado, Honorable Mohammed Ado, what plan does he have for the people of Wajir South for the social economic transformation? He is the only hope for Wajir South. We feel well represented ever than before. Wow. They say you're the hope, bro.
I mean, the expectation is huge.
Yeah,
The expectation
expectations
is
are huge,
huge.
yeah.
And sometimes it gives me sleepless nights, I must say.
Sure.
Yeah. I lose sleep over it. Just the sheer expectation of
Yeah.
the people.
Yeah.
And I would like to assure them that I will do my best. I will do my best to represent them, both inside and outside Parliament.
Well done. Guys, like Mohammed said, you put it right. It's a huge expectation, huge burden.
Huge.
But you guys, you chose this job.
We did.
So you have to do it.
We
Captain.
Shall. We shall.
Captain, your people in Kasarani are listening to you. What do you tell them?
What I'm going to tell them is that, let's have some patience. Politics, for us, it's a learning process. We've been called monos and, whatever the case might be.
Yeah.
So we are trying to organize the offices. I don't know if you have your office in place yet, but it's a challenge getting everything right from the onset. But what I want to assure them, once everything is in order, we'll hit the ground running. And I am a genuine person. That's the reason they gave me the votes. So that confidence they had in me, I want to assure them I will not let them down. I have a reputation to protect. I am not those people who go into something so that in 2027 I have nothing to tell my people. So I have, it's a big challenge, but even behind the scenes I'm trying to create the networks that will assist my people of Kasarani. The basic needs we shall address first. We want to ensure all the children are going to school. Nobody is having problems with food, the road networks, the basic infrastructure of water, sewerage. We get all that done. It's going to be a challenge, but I will make sure I direct all my effort in that area. Yeah. That's what I would like to assure them. And again, to thank them. First independent member of parliament in Nairobi. It has never been done before. And they had the faith in me. They decided not to choose either of the big coalitions. And that means they really trust me a lot. And as Mheshimiwa has said, it gives sleepless nights. But as you said, Jeff, we asked for it. And therefore, we must deliver.
You have to deliver.
Yes.
You have to deliver. Mohammed Ado, what do you tell the people of Wajir South? I know they're watching you right now. They're watching with bated breath.
My message to the people of Wajir South is, I will agitate for your rights. I will agitate for you day and night. But again, as I've said many times during the campaign trail, we have to look and account for what we also bring to the table ourselves. We don't just shout Serikali's idea. Is what have we also done for ourselves? In terms of providing food for ourselves, agro-pastoralism is the way, smaller herds, more sedentary farming, people not just planting their own food, but also planting fodder for their livestock. So we also need to put our input. We can't just sit back, relax, and say the government should help us. And that is where we will be heading. And that is how I am going to, that's what I will be asking of them, throughout my leadership.
Yeah. Well done. Mheshimiwa Mohammed Ado, that sounds good, a good title. Huh? Mheshimiwa Ronald Karauri.
Don't forget Captain.
Captain. Captain first. I like Captain. Do they call you Captain in the house or do they call you Mheshimiwa?
Badu, I need to start debating. Let's wait and see.
You still fly?
No, I haven't touched an aircraft for a long time.
Really?
Yes.
Would you want to? Do you miss it?
Only when I'm in the plane, sometimes I feel I should, touch the controls a bit. But when I'm not in a plane, I don't miss it at all.
Nice.
Yes.
Guys, good luck. Huh?
Thank you very much.
All the very best.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
Thank
Thank you for having us.
Great conversation.
Thank you.
Kind of conversation we need to have every single day, folks. Every single day. Wajir South, you heard that. It's larger than Nairobi and Central and Western put together. Hardly a bit of tarmac road. It's crying shame. Shame on us. Mohammed Ado, after 25 years as working as a journalist, celebrated journalist, he wants to do something about it. How about that? And Captain Ronald Karauri wants to do something for people of Kasarani. Stay tuned. Watch out, folks. Change is coming. That's why we have such folks on the bench. Keep those tweets coming at Koinange Jeff, at Citizen TV Kenya, the hashtag JKLive. Thanks so much for being a part of this show, folks. Think about it. This is our country. Where else are we going to go? Let's build it ourselves. Good night, good luck. God bless Kenya.